Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. It's land. It's land. All right, Paulie, let's go.
All right, let's go. We got so many things to chat about with Kamran Pasha. Not one, but two Star Wars scoops. Jenna Ortega, fake Latina. Camila Camila Mendes. She's Brazilian. Mendes, it's pronounced. I know this.
That's better.
Because my better half is Portuguese Brazilian. Mendes
Go.
is Tila. We're going to talk about that because people are already harping about ginger side, which I think is whenever I hear that argument, I'm going to save it. I'm going to say I'm real thorny right now. I'm thorny. I'm thorny. Okay, what else do we have? I think that's it. We got a lot of that. So I'll be right back in about less than 60 seconds. We'll say hello to you guys, and then we'll 45 seconds. 45 seconds. I'm going to say hello to some of you guys right now. Who is here early? Daniel T. Penny. Visinger. Superior Nav. What's up, Superior? ¿Qué pasa? Cameron's here. Oh, yeah. Look at it. He's right there. Juice is here. Juice! Membership time. I got a membership thing for you guys. USS Cushing. Lee. I'm so effing happy this show was such trash. Shanatsky's here.
4.
Christopher Peak. Vámonos. Paulie here on the Latino slant. Hola. What's happening, mis amigos? Well, we got a lot going on. And what I want to do, we have all these wonderful people from Kamran's Patreon. If we can put up Kamran's Patreon, that'd be great right now. Kamran Pasha is going to join us in 60 seconds, man. 60 seconds. I have one membership thing to do. What we've been doing on the high level memberships is sending you guys mysterious swag. So I just sent out to Johnny Gonzalez, who's a member of the channel, a cool Twisters ball cap from the movie Twisters. It's this movie swag. Mexican Iron Man's son, Max, we sent him the same thing. I have now a swag piece I'd like to give away to the first member who's live in the chat and who wants this piece from Alien Romulus. It is a real durable kind of thick patch. It's like a sticker bottom patch you can put on there. It says Wayland Utani Corp. And it's got in the theaters. It's got the little paquete. It's got the little, facehugger image. But this is just exclusive to members. So if you were a member and you haven't gotten a gift in the last, couple of weeks, Juice is in the audience right now. I will mail this to you guys. All you got to say right now is gimme. So that first member live in the chat with us, or become a member. You become a member right now, you will get this. Because we're always going to these Hollywood kind of media screenings, and they tend to give us stuff. All right. So not a member. Well, it's $2.99, brother. I don't know what to tell you. The other thing that they gave us, and let's bring this other baby in here. Boom, boom. Is, if you can see, let me make myself big here. They gave me that Wolverine. I'm not gonna give the Wolverine away. So yeah, I'm looking for a member right now that is going to take this alien patch right now. Gimme. Jen, are you a member? It says you're not a member, but you know what? I'm giving it to Jen because she's so amazing. It's not listing, Fletcher, that she's a member right now, but Jen's our girl. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh yeah, I think Jen was a member, but yeah, she's our girl. So
You know,
definitely.
well, pardon us, Jim, but StreamYards isn't always up to date. I'm sure you remember the way things goes, but we will send this off to you right now. How about that,
Boom.
Jen? It's yours. It's yours. So, what's going on, Fletch? What's going on in the chat right now?
Oh, living stream. So everybody's hanging out. We got Syfax, David Walker. We got a bunch of people hanging out supporting our buddy Mr. Pasha. We got Daniel
Mm.
Larson. We got Lone Elemental Cross, Michael Nemo in the house. Sanders here, Christopher Peak, Shanoski. Man, we
Yeah,
got a ton of people here hanging out
yeah.
with us.
It's climbing right now. We're over 60 people live in Facebook group. We have a Facebook group over almost 250 members. X, and of course YouTube. We want everyone to be subscribed and all that good stuff. This is like my arm cam because you can see my arms. Okay, are we ready? Man, we got a lot to cover. Are we ready, Fletcher?
We are ready.
Wait a minute, but you have a poll going on in the chat.
Yeah, vote on Paul right now.
Right now. Let's do it. Okay. Well, you know him, you love him, and you'll probably hear for him because people are saying, Cameron, where are you? Kamran Pasha, everybody. ¿Qué pasó? What's up, good buddy?
Hello, hermano. It's good to see you. Good to see everyone. Got a lovely sunset started over down in the beach, Santa Monica there. So, yeah.
Yes, you do, man.
Nice.
Yes, you do. Well, I think we got to get right into this.
Yeah, a lot going on.
We have a lot going on and very little time. Well, but time for people in the chat. Let's go with some breaking news right now. The Acolyte canceled season 2, no season 2 for Disney's Star Wars series. Cameron, what's going on here, man?
Well, if anyone's been following my Patreon, I've been saying for some time there is no season 2. Now, some people said, well, you said the show would never be broadcast. I did. That was what I had been told last year. Things changed last summer, and I've talked about that on my Patreon when I got information that they had canned it, and they decided, no, we need to put this out there for a variety of reasons. I've discussed my Patreon, mostly due to who financed it, which is a little shady. But my contacts inside of Disney Lucasfilm told me that nobody wanted to put this out. Favreau didn't even want to put this out. He was horrified by the footage he saw, right? And so he's like, it's going to hurt the brand, and it did hurt the brand, right? But he didn't want to put it out, but he was overruled, but there was never any plan for season 2. And so for the last several weeks, all I've been hearing, and I've had people sort of trolls popping up on my Patreon as well say, so Cameron, I hear there's a season 2. I guess you're wrong about that too. I was like, well, I guess I wasn't wrong about that, because here we go, right? And we'll talk about some of the scoops I had a few days ago on my Patreon, but one of them was that they were in the same article that we're going to talk about something else I put out just last week, that there were very intense discussions as to what do the Acolyte, and here we are. And the outcome of those discussions has come. And this might not be the final part of it. This may be the beginning of its erasure, right? It's been canceled. And then there's, they certainly have the ability now to then pull the plug if they want to. And remove it from Disney Plus altogether, as they did with Willow. Whether they do that or not, we'll find out soon enough. But that is now on the table.
Well, let's read some of this from Deadline, and I know you share this on your Patreon as well, as you said also that you had, you were talking about this. You're well ahead of the curve. The story of the Acolyte will now continue, with Lucasfilm opting not to proceed with the second season of the Star Wars offshoot starring Amanda Steinberg. Sources tell Deadline. Worded decision comes from more than a month after the 8-episode first season of the series from creator blah 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 wrapped on Disney Plus. Okay, why is this an announcement? Because Book of Boba Fett, Obi-Wan,
they could have just let this fade away. They could have let this fade away, right?
Right.
And left people with inshallah, si Dios quiere, it's coming soon, ojalá, right? And just leave it hanging. So like the mythical fake Ray movie. Yeah, soon, one day soon there'll be a script, right? Soon, they could just leave it hanging. But this is a choice, and I think this is an intentional choice. Because I believe Jon Favreau, who said, don't put this garbage out there. You're screwing up everything I'm doing. He had nothing to do with this. And for those who have some debate about this, Dave Filoni had nothing to do with this. This was a completely Leslie Headland, Kathleen Kennedy thing. From my contacts inside the company, nobody in San Francisco had any idea what was going on here. This was all filmed in the UK financing, UK books. Even the scripts and stuff weren't on the servers here, right? The people couldn't access them inside the
very
company.
fishy. Everything was fishy.
It had nothing to do with Lucasfilm as it exists at the Presidio, right? And so this is, and now Favreau, I think, wanted to send the message because he knows the damage. He warned of the damage that this show would do to the brand, and he's trying to get people focused on Skeleton Crew. Notice this happens after D23, where Skeleton Crew was feeded, and people are excited about this new trailer. I like the trailer. It's got a
I didn't see it.
Whip.
I didn't see it because Acolyte left me in such a bad mood, bad taste in my mouth. I stopped watching after episode 3, and I said, I'm not watching anything else right now.
Yeah, like, but that's like not watching James Bond movies because that one Bond movie that wasn't made like the by the same people, like Broccoli and whatever.
Hear me out, Cameron. Hear me out. This is what Favreau was afraid of, was that the diehards like me that are still coming and hitting one bad show after another are finally going to have it with seeing the Acolyte. And that's what happened. Will I give Skeleton Crew a chance? Maybe. But let's get back to this article.
All right. So
all right. The news is not entirely surprising. The Acolyte did okay with critics, with 78% on the Rotten Tomatoes, but divided Star Wars fans. There was no division. It was like a 14% Rotten Tomatoes score.
Well,
there was no division.
They got to keep the PR going. That there is some kind of there was some market for the show. They have to keep that PR going.
Come on, I'm pissed off. Super chat us right now if you have a question for Cameron or for me, because we are here for you guys, breaking it down like no one else can, because I got the hand can right here. We love super chats, so I'm just going to tell you right now, any amount is great and it helps the channel. I bought new lights. It helps us literally pay for these new lights. Kamran Pasha, driven by interest into the Vernable franchise, the Acolyte got off to a strong start. Did it? I think it was like, it was a Jimmy. It was like, who was
watching it? All the YouTubers were watching it to make their hate videos. That's the only people that were watching it.
Dude, you're not wrong, man. Listen, it was a big mess, but the Acolyte could not sustain the momentum. No shit. Dropping out of the top 10 week 3, staying off before returning to the number 10 after the release of the finale. In interviews, Headland revealed she was pitching for ideas for a second season. She was hoping to get a renewal. What she was hoping for, Mr.
Well, even if it was renewed,
was that we were going to rise up and love this show so much that we would demand a second season. And she would go back to Kathleen Kennedy, back to Favreau, back to Filoni. See, I know what the fans want. Give me a season 2. And then boom. But no, that didn't happen, Mr. Pasha.
Well, but the thing is, again, what difference would it have made had that happened? She's been off this project for over a year. I mean, she was basically escorted off the premises a year ago with an unfinished show. I mean, she basically left. They had to edit it without the showrunner. And you could say that's Kamran Pasha's conspiracy stuff. She was doing multiple other shows allegedly last summer, and it's like she didn't even stick around for the development, for the conclusion of the post-production.
And we talked about this also too, like in the stand-ups and the upfronts, whatever you want to call them. Carrie-Anne Moss looked miserable. She did not want to be there, and now we know why.
Well, I mean, I didn't watch the show, but as I expected, my understanding is she was there just in the opening for a little bit. Is that correct?
She was at one of the stand-ups, the Disney upfronts, whatever the hell they call it.
But I'm saying on the show itself, she was only briefly there. My understanding is she was killed off pretty quickly.
She was killed off episode 1, and then she started showing up in flashbacks.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. I mean,
but I stopped watching, bro. I stopped watching.
Whatever. I mean, look, she's nobody. The reality is, that was a paycheck for her. She was embarrassed to do it. You could see the fact she did zero promotion for over a year on this project.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, man. I mean,
look at Jude Law. Jude Law's been talking about this Skeleton Crew for months, right?
Well, okay, all right. So before we go to our next, really, it's your scoop. This is now like, information. You've already known this for a while. This is validation for you. This
Yeah.
is validation for you. When
I said a few days ago they're going to make a decision, and they did.
Cameron, when I read this today, I thought of you first.
Thank you.
Thought of you first. And we're gonna
I'm
chop.
sure certain trolls that came on my Patreon, a bunch of trolls came on my Patreon in the last month to basically, and all they would do was show up in the comments and say, "So Cameron, what about Acolyte season 2? I heard it's coming." It's like, and then they all unsubscribed the moment Acolyte.
Did they really?
Their job was to come in and make that comment and then disappear, right?
They got you, huh?
$5, buddy.
They're
But
trolling you, right? Hey, if they're trolling you on Patreon, though, it's like a member giving me shit
$5
on
to
YouTube.
make that
You're
comment.
paying. You want to pay that $2.99 on the Latino slant, and you want to give Paulie a hard time? I say, bring it, bring it. I love it, and I'll give you my honest opinion on stuff. That's the thing, is that you're not going to agree with me all the time, and I don't know why I'm so. I know why I'm amped. I'm amped. Okay, because the way you've been treated, the way your information is treated, you know, we roll with professionals in the business. We know what it takes, right? And you know, anyone hiding behind an avatar or that's not in the business, that doesn't run or hasn't had any real credentials in the business. I've had it with you guys. I've had it. Did I say I've had it with you? Okay, let's go.
I actually want to respond. I'm putting it in the chat, but let me respond to it to a person. It's not an attack on them, but I'm putting it in big caps. Hold on.
Okay. All right. While you do that, let's go right now. We got some comments. The Trashalight.
All right. So here we go.
The show was rubbish. I'm glad it got canceled. That's Tim's talk. Tim will watch anything. That's Tim's talk. I like Tim.
So now, if we can bring up the comment from somebody, this is not an attack on them. I want to respond to their comment to clear up misunderstanding.
Okay, I will. Well, once I get through these, because if I were a chick, I'd appreciate your camera angle. Well, thank you, Wolverine. The Acolyte is not OSHA compliant. Shanatsky. Hey, Shanatsky, what's going on, brother? How you doing, man? The fact that they actually announced the cancellation is very telling. Daniel, yes. Sci-fi for me too. For me, TV. Skeleton Crew, like Spielberg. I'm cautiously curious. That makes one of us. The Vasco scenario. I guess there were not many. Read by nature. What's up, Paulie, Cameron, and company? What's up, my brother? Michael Nimmo comes in with $5. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, Fletcher. Come on. I feel badly that the message is now going to be that Star Wars fans are anti-LGBT, when in reality, it was just poor Star Wars. Right, Cameron?
But is that even the message? I'm not really hearing anybody saying that. The consistent message, even in the deadline comments, are people, someone actually said, this is going to be used to make it anti-LGBT, but it's just a bad show. This is somebody who's very pro-LGBT. In the comments is like, this show shouldn't have been made. It hurts us. If this is what the garbage are going to put the LGBT community's name on, it hurts us. That was the comments and deadline.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Michael, and this is another garbage pile on garbage, because it's like, we gotta say, no, we are not anti-LGBT. We love our gay friends or whatever family member. It's like the fact that we have to disclaimer that is just a joke. All right.
But we don't need to, because that's not the narrative. It just isn't even a narrative in Hollywood. The narrative in Hollywood that I'm seeing from even my screenwriter friends is, this show's bad, man. This show's bad.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I think more he's saying probably the Twitter fandom that bumps heads with other fandoms. I don't know what. Michael, what I do know is I appreciate your super chat. I'd like some more, guys, but you know what? I will take it as again. I mean, you can do a super chat. We throw something fun at you. Got about 100 people combined. It's growing. Guys, let people know we're here. Kamran Pasha, writer, novelist, friend of mine. They said
also,
they were
your lovely your partner's wonderful movie a few days ago. Loved. I had such a great time in the film.
Yeah.
I laughed for 2 hours straight.
Well, we just got confirmation that movie's playing at the Chinese Theater September 6th.
Oh,
That is
wow.
going to be huge.
That's great. Yeah.
I need to get to with the filmmakers because I want to see if the Latino Slant can run the Q&A afterwards, because
Oh, wow. That'd be
that
wonderful.
Q&A afterwards I did not like. That was the only thing I did.
I couldn't stick around for that. Remember, I had to go home and
Oh,
take
that's
care
right. Sure.
But I saw the whole movie. Yeah.
Tomorrow. Okay, so what do we got in the chat? You were saying something that.
So there was very nice gentlemen, and please don't think I'm picking on them, but I want to respond to their
Steph.
comment.
Which one?
It's someone named Orthopedics who has a comment. So Acolyte 2 will be Big KK's win. So she's not going anywhere forever. And I responded in loud, all caps. But I want to
Okay, what did you say in all caps? All right.
Because you got that. So my all caps, you'll see, just a few things down is no, she's not staying for a big win.
I don't see your comment.
Yeah.
But it should be, I put it there unless somebody erased it. It's under Sander Hammerschlag, right? So if you go to look down, orthopedics.
You did. YouTube either didn't take it, but I'm not reading it here in our.
All right.
I don't see it either because it's underneath. You got a comment on.
They took it out because I was angry. I don't know. I'm not.
I don't
angry.
know.
So I'm gonna at least tell what I say to. Okay, I'll repost in a second. But what I will say to orthopedics is that this idea that she's waiting for Kathleen Kennedy's waiting for some win. This is a lie, and it's a misrepresentation of what poor Chris Gore was saying. Chris Gore, who's a very nice YouTuber, I've met him, he's a very good guy, was saying on his own channel, and he clarified it. And yet, of course, the clarifications are never filter into the fandom. The misinformation always filters. So what he said on his channel was that she wanted Miss Kennedy wanted to go out on a high note. She wanted some kind of success. She was hoping that success would be Indiana Jones. It wasn't. She was hoping that success would be the Ray movie would go. It didn't happen. She was hoping that success would be the Acolyte. That didn't happen. However, various people of low IQ on YouTube, decided for clicks to twist his words, which are just his opinion about her desire that she wished she had had a win, to say she won't leave unless she had a win. And they put that out there as if this is inside information because they're so desperate for your clicks. And poor Chris Gore had to publicly come out and say, that's not what I said. You all know what I said. These people are kind of his buddies. And as I've already experienced, they're not anybody's buddies. They're only buddies to their channels. That's all they're buddies to. And they'll use you and misuse you, right? And so Chris Gore was pulled into this. And now this narrative has entered the fandom that isn't real. She's not waiting for a win. She has no power. There is no, what is the win? What win is on her table? She has nothing. She has nothing in production, nothing in development. The Ray movie isn't real. They've come out and said they don't have a script. I reported that in January. They don't have a script. Right? So the writers moved on to the projects.
So all right.
So win.
I think no, I think I went out for a second there.
Yep.
But I'm back. Hey, how you doing? Okay, Fletcher, you got any questions real quick for Mr. Pasha?
No, I think he's been vindicated once again, because there's a lot of people out there saying a lot of stuff that they're not saying it as this could be, but like they are facts.
They are facts that they got from insiders, which is I misheard something from another YouTuber who's sharing an opinion.
Right.
I mean, this is really sleazy stuff, but that's what this has devolved into.
Right. No, yeah. And then we do get, basically from Mr. Pasha's own mouth, because we were here when he said it. He said it live on Latino's Land. I mean, not too long ago, where he says this show is not going anywhere. It doesn't matter what they say. It doesn't matter what they want to spin it any kind of way. This show doesn't have legs. It's not going anywhere. And trust me on that. That's literally, I think, what was quoted, what you said, not too long ago. And this is what happens now.
Yeah, because my people inside the company who are talking to me are like, there's no scripts, there's nothing in development, there's nothing. There's no plan, there's no showrunner, there's no writer. How can there be a second season when there's nothing? There's nothing to even suggest. This first season was cobbled together, as my sources said. As anyone who watched this show, again, I didn't watch it, but what people told me confirmed what I heard, that this was cobbled together. It didn't seem to flow properly. It looked like it was weirdly edited because they didn't have enough footage. They cobbled the whole damn thing together, right? If you don't even have enough footage for season 1, where are you going to get a season 2?
It's so copy and paste. It was so horrendous.
Members,
It's just common
members
sense.
in the chat, members of the Latino Slant, we're highlighting and getting your comments out there as best as we can. We want to thank you guys so much. Members, Jaime is here. ¿Qué más? Darth Plato is here. We haven't seen Darth in a minute.
Yeah,
My boy Darth. And of course, with the wrench, and also to member of the channel, and he's a producer, Fletcher.
¿Qué pasó?
Hey, ¿qué pasó?
Hey, we got
I
some-
love the passion. I love the passion, the passion Pasha, the Pasha passion. Let's call it that. Listen,
It's
what
called
you
the
see
Pasha
here.
vindication. I've had to
Listen,
swallow a
yeah.
lot of garbage for a year now.
Yeah,
A year, a
what
couple
you-
of months of nonsense from people of low moral character, and here we are.
But listen, when you talk about passion, talk about authenticity, talk about honesty. What you see here, you see in person, man. You're a ball of fire, my friend. Ball of fire. Oh my God.
Goodness
I'm
gracious, great balls of passion.
I'm being silly, but you know, he's Cameron's absolutely right, and we've been hitting this 100 people combined in all in everything that we are streaming on, which is great. Make sure you guys are not only subscribed to our channel, but consider being a Patreon member to Cameron's Patreon page, because, bro, you give insight and exclusive like no other. I mean,
we've got several hundred really good people that have created a community. We talk about stuff, and it's not just Star Wars. Just a couple of days ago, we had the loss of one of the great classic actors of classic Hollywood.
a lot of people dying right now, man.
Yeah, Alain Delon, the French actor, one of the great actors of the 20th century.
What
he
a
passed
hunk.
away. He was a good-looking dude, man. He played Zorro. He did a good job as Zorro, right? He did a really good job.
Well, I had that Latin connection. That's probably why.
And look, people on my Patreon are just sharing French movies they love.
Yep.
I mean, this has become a real community.
And who else? Phil Donahue today.
God bless him.
Phil
Funny.
Donahue. Guy was the number one. He was the first. He was the pioneer. Cameron is right. What's up, Zelfried? Good to see you. Okay, all right. So we have some super chats.
Yes, we do.
Then I want to get to your scoop.
Yeah, the scoop is also in the same article where we talk about the Acolyte decision is coming. So yeah, it's coming the same thing. It's only
Yeah,
3
let's
days.
do it. Stephanie Janishek's Smuggler's Cantina for $4.99. Harvey's former personal assistant's reaction would be gold.
Look, her reaction is, "I'm not in jail, thank God." That's her reaction. This thing got done. I'm not in jail. My car didn't have an accident. Let's just keep moving forward.
I mean, is she at this point? Thank you, Stephanie. At this point, is she insane enough to actually put a press release out, put a comment out,
Oh, if she
feeling
was
the-
that stupid, oh my
right?
God.
Go ahead.
I mean, you would think. I mean, she might, because I think she was probably. I don't think they bothered to even inform her, right? She's been out of the loop for a year, right? So they probably didn't even inform her that, and she probably heard about this, from Deadline, and I don't think they cared enough to inform her, and so. If she's stupid, she will make something about it, but it's done. What's she going to do? It's going to make her look really bad if she were to say anything critical of Disney or Favreau or anybody else right now. If she said anything right now, it would make her look like a sore loser. So she just stays quiet.
All right. Stephanie, also too, guys, if you're not familiar with Stephanie Janishek's channel, she's an OG Star Wars, the OG Star Wars fan, and just unfiltered and always bringing it to you. So check out her channel as well. Thank you so much. The Watcher Supreme, $1.99. Thank you so much. Isn't Kathleen's contract over this fall, Cameron?
Supposedly, I mean, I haven't read her contract. That seems to be the narrative that's in the industry. I mean, she's got to go someday, right? I mean, someday she's got to go. I know it's hard for us to let go of this. It's in some way she reminds me of J. Edgar Hoover, like the FBI who was around for like 100 years, and nobody could have imagined he would go, and they didn't know what to do when he did go. I mean, he had blackmail on every president going back to like FDR or whatever, and he was never going anywhere.
The original cross-dresser.
Yeah, I mean, but what did he do? Just died.
That boy was wild, bro. That boy was wild. Ain't gonna get us in trouble now. Talking about some old dead white dude.
If you want to see a great portrayal of him, watch one of my favorite movies of all time, Oliver Stone's Nixon. which has a really wonderful portrayal.
Who played Edgar Hoover Nixon?
I'll tell you the IMDb who was.
Yeah. That might be good.
I worked with Oliver on a project, and I told him that Nixon, I think, is his greatest movie. It's the one that most people never watch, right? But I think it is it's better. It's better than Born on the 4th of July. It's better than JFK. I think it's his greatest film of all time. And his portrayal of Nixon
was well done, as was what was it? The Conversation. What was that one where it was a talk between Nixon and the English dude? It was an interview.
Yeah. I know the one. I like that. Good movie.
That's Oliver Stone, right?
I don't know Oliver. I don't think Oliver did that. That was somebody else.
I love that film.
It's the famous UK interview that he did. Right?
The UK guy. And it was was it David Sheen, the actor? Something really good actor. It was fantastic. Okay, all right. Where do we go?
But the person who played him in IMDb, who played in the movie Nixon, was Bob Hoskins. Bob Hoskins is a great actor. But for Who Framed Roger Rabbit? I mean, it's where he comes back to it. He was the guy, and he plays him. And he had Anthony Hopkins as Nixon. And I think Anthony Hopkins should have gotten the Oscar for it.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Frost Nixon.
Frost Nixon, thank you. That was a good film. It was a good film.
Fantastic film. Bumpy, what's up, Bumpy?
Yeah, good Bumpy.
Okay, let's go back to Michael Nimmel for $5. That's what I'm talking about, Fletcher. Yep. If you build it, they will come. Already, I'm hyped for some amp. Boom, Public Enemy, baby.
Yes, most of your heroes don't appear
in no stamp. Okay, come on now. Calm down, Cameron. Cameron, can you just chill?
Just relax.
Cameron's like, what is Paul?
This is me on 20%, buddy.
That's
yeah, it is. What are the possible Suits takeaways and lessons, if any, from Acolyte being canceled? Obviously, to affect future projects positively. That's a good question, Cameron. What are the takeaways, if any, from your Sparrow level, your Suits level type of? Are they gonna? They must have been rocked by this. They must have been rocked by this. Gracias.
I've worked at Disney. I've worked with the Suits at Disney. And so they're not going to learn anything from this. Suits don't learn anything. That's their job to learn anything.
Wait, hold on.
Okay, so you're not going to learn anything. Just a weird question.
What did you just say?
The Suits don't learn anything. They're not going to learn anything because it's not their job to learn anything. That's what I just said. The Suits, you're talking about the executives. It's not their job to learn anything from this. Because that's not their job. The job is to preserve their job, right? And how do you preserve the job? It is to blame other people for the failure of projects.
You hear that, Michael Nimmo? They ain't going to learn nada. That's because you still have garbage that comes out.
Because their job is not preserved by making a good show. It is only preserved by passing the blame to somebody on somebody else for a bad show. So learning what is necessary to make a good show doesn't help advance their career, because most executives have an 18-month track. They have an 18-month contract, and they're almost always shuffled out after 18 months. They go. It's like musical chairs. You go from Disney to whatever, Warner Brothers, Paramount. You just shuffle around until one day the chairs run out and you're out of the business. Right? That's you either made it or you're out of the business. But that's all it is. And it's the reality is that job success. You could have made the most successful show or movie under your tenure, but if you get, all it takes is for someone inside the studio to politically stab you in the back, especially when you're successful. That's when they come at you, because then you're dangerous, right? To the other people who are competing with them. That's when they push you out. So your success doesn't help you. It makes you a target. So what lesson could they learn when success doesn't help them advance and survive? Success makes them a target of competitive rivalry, which pushes them out of the system. This is hard for people to understand. This is all the studios, but particular Disney. I watched it with my own eyes because I worked inside. I wasn't like most TV shows don't actually are in the studio. Most TV shows are separate production facilities somewhere else, production office, right? I was on the Disney lot working on Tron as the head writer of Tron Uprising. And so the executives were down the hall from me, right? Like 3 doors over. So I saw all of how it works, right? I would walk by one executive's office and I never heard him ever talking about story or casting or anything else. All I would ever hear him as I would walk by to get lunch, whatever, was talking to his secretary to get like box seats for like, this game or that game. Right? I mean, or get me into this like premiere. All he was doing was socializing. because that's all the job is schmoozing and networking. That's all the job is.
Well, there you have it, Michael. You got your $5 there, $5 worth from Kamran. That there must be a song about the lessons of life that we can sing or hum, Kamran. Lessons unlearned. Or I don't know, because I'm in a singing mood. I'm a little excited.
So why are you saying "Singing in the Rain"? Right, the classic songs.
Over 120 people hanging out with us combined. I love it. Make sure you guys have done a couple things for us really quickly. Voted. I want 100 votes and I want 100 likes to happen right now as we are hanging out with the great Kamran Pasha. Whenever he comes on, it is the show takes our live streams, Fletcher, just take on another level. Do you know what I mean, brother?
Yep, it's a coffee. It must be the coffee.
Yeah, we got over 100 people. At least right now we have at least 93 or so just on YouTube.
Just on YouTube. All right. Well, listen, I mean, I'm seeing over 120 together, so that's beautiful. Surgeon MD for $4.99. Hilarious. Now critics that bashed Barbie agreeing that it's satire, admitting it's good. Egg on the face. What do y'all think of Trap? I loved it. That's him. That's Surgeon saying that.
Well, you and I don't agree on Barbie, but my position remains that it is a satire, like Blazing Saddles, right? That's what it always was. That remains my position. And if you watch it as a satire mocking feminism, which I believe it is incredibly funny in the way Blazing Saddles mocks racism and all these all these things that we're not willing to look at, right? In the in the way Dr. Strangelove mocks warmongering. It's not promoting warmongering. That's my opinion. I don't know who it is that changed their opinion. I know that gentleman, that comic book gentleman, Ethan Van Sciver, and I early on said this is a brilliant movie because he saw it as satire, and he's a professional writer. I'm a professional writer. We both saw it that way. I still see it that way. I love that movie. If you take it straight on, it's like taking Blazing Saddles straight on and getting offended when the black guy comes and goes, "Where the white women at?" Right? I mean, it's like getting offended at that when you realize you're mocking white men's fear of black men taking their women, not insulting a black man's desire for. I mean, it's just you have to read.
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, exactly. That's
no, okay.
But that's Mel Brooks, right? If this had been Barbie by Mel Brooks, nobody would have questioned
it. 10 hours right now. The thing with Barbie is when I walked out of it, I saw what they were trying to do. I just didn't think that they fully went for it, or it fully succeeded for me. But I saw like, hey man, there was something going on here. Obviously, it looked beautiful, it was done well, all that good stuff. However, two things, right? With time, I'm probably going to see it again. Mr. Pasha, and
I'm saying that for a year. Watch it again.
And my mother really liked it. So
yes. And I took my mom to see it.
Mom, I was like in shock.
I mean, just watch it again and listen to America Ferrera's rant at the end, where she says it's okay to be a mom and not work. It's okay to not have a career. Has anyone in Hollywood said that since 1960? Has anyone said that? No.
Okay. Surgeon MD again. I hope you got your $4.99. Oh, what did I think of Trap? Well, I didn't see it yet. The premise sounds great. We do want to see it, me and Romy. It's up our alley. It's on our list. But it almost doesn't matter because it is a box office success globally. It's doing really well. And congrats to M. Night Shyamalan. And I love Josh Hart.
Amazingly career filled with lots of surprises.
I love M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. And no, Josh Hartnett.
Well, Josh Hartnett, I think he's one of the really underrated actors. I think he's great in everything he does. I don't think he gets the respect in this industry that he deserves. He's a really good actor.
No, he doesn't. Well, I think he came in that young generation in the 2000s where a lot of those people came and went. And he left for a long time, and now he's back. I'm happy for him. Juice, who's a member of the channel. It's a super sticker, Fletcher, and it is a laughing Shiba.
It's like a laughing Shiba.
Yep, for $9.99, Fletcher.
That's how we like.
That's how we do it. You know what? For $9.99, you're gonna get the bigote right there. Okay, here we go. then you got some Mexican Iron Man.
All right, so
And
we should
well,
get
we
to
have-
my scoops at some point.
we got one more, Michael Nimmo for $5. So it's a complete crapshoot. If anything ends up quality, got it.
Correct. Now you understand Hollywood. Correct. And there's an old. I mean, when I first moved here 23 years ago, I was told it's a miracle that anything gets made. It's just a miracle that it gets made. That it gets good is just icing on top of that, right?
Yeah. I mean, yes, anything out of the studios, right? I think anything that's a quality that's independently done,
Mhm.
the crapshoot is, will it ever be seen?
Well,
Right?
you know,
Go ahead.
I'm going to say something controversial, which maybe Ms. Hedlund will appreciate. I mean, there's only been one person that has been able to make good independent movies consistently, and he's a terrible human being, which is Harvey Weinstein, right? Her boss, her mentor.
You know what?
He's the only one that knew how to do it because he made
Listen.
incredible movies. He's just a bad person.
Listen, you know what? You're not the only person to say that. You know, some of our friends and not some of our friends, they all agree. It's like, you know what? He was a necessary evil because he always delivered really good films.
If this guy didn't have his like sexual pathologies and the evil inside of him, if he just focused on the artistry that was within him, he would have had a great legacy. But this darkness that was within him consumed him, hurt a lot of people, right? And this is where he ends up. But you watch, like I'm watching great movies, like movies for the last 20 years. His name produced by Harvey Weinstein. What do? You can't erase his name. And it's like, well, that's a great movie. That movie would never gotten made in Hollywood. So what do you do? That's an objective truth, right? So what do you do? This is the flip of this strange man, right?
All right, we're hanging out with Kamran Pasha. We have now our big scoop happening right now. And yes, it is a Star Wars scoop. He's had it for a few days now. Where's our main scoop?
Do you have it pulled up?
John Favreau preparing the return of Luke, Leia, and Han Solo.
Yeah.
I have an image. I don't have your Patreon. I don't know if it's ever kosher to bring it up. You know what I mean?
You can bring up the article. I mean, yeah, people should be. I mean, if you can bring up the screen, it's on there somewhere. So yeah.
No, I can bring up your Patreon. Is that okay?
Yeah, bring it up. The article. You know. It's,
okay, give me a second
John,
as I pull it on up.
Well, I'll start talking about it. So
please.
So this I published just a little under a week ago, 6 days ago on August 13th. Part of it is also talk about that they're trying to figure out what to do with the Acolyte, which is where that they're having impassioned discussions what to do with the Acolyte, including killing it. And that was, we've seen less than a week later, they made their decision, right, as to what to do. So that was part of the report. But the report came and it was a bit of a bombshell. And so far, I haven't seen anyone else confirm it. But knowing my source and knowing how my source, who I call Sparrow, my source explained to me why they know this to be true. So I have 100% confidence in the chain of information to my source, right, and how it happened. So that's why I'm confident that this conversation did happen. But what they told me was basically they found out about it by accident. It was a conversation that revealed something. The conversation that they were privy to was between certain suits and Mr. Favreau about the Star Wars, whatever, the Galaxy, Galaxy's Edge thing, right? The park, and that Favreau was demanding that Disney please pony up the money to revamp Galaxy's Edge and make it completely based on the original trilogy of Lucas, which is, he said, that's what the audience wants, that's what the fans want, that's what the park goers want. And, we just got to revamp it. Nobody cares about this sequel stuff. If you want that part to succeed, you've got to have Vader there. You've got to go back to the original stuff, right? And the response of the bean counters was, look, that's a lot of money. We're talking about tens of millions of dollars to invest in revamping this park and putting all this new stuff in and taking all that stuff out. And it's just not justified. We don't, they said that this franchise isn't bringing in the money that justifies investing more like that. And Favreau's angry response to that was, you have to spend money to make money. The reason you're not making money is you invested it incorrectly in the first place. You invested in things people didn't want, especially in that park. So now you need to put the money in to fix it, and you will get the money back. And so they were having this argument, and so the money crunchers came back with what they thought was a gotcha. And this is what Sparrow heard, and it would startle them. Right? They didn't know this information until the gotcha. The gotcha was, well, John, as in Favreau, John, your already making us spend a hell of a lot of money on this digital technology to bring back Luke, Han, and Leia. And you want us to spend more? Ding, 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 ding. So I was like, what? What is this? Because my source did not know this, that this has already been spent on, that massive investment has been authorized to use digital technology to bring back our three main heroes. We've already seen it used for Luke. We've already seen it used to varying degrees. It's getting better, I think, with time. But now it's also Han and Leia are planned to be recreated, and which answers the subtle debate for which my source Favreau had no answer until now. People kept asking, what is the plan? Is the plan to recast Luke? You know, people like Sebastian Stan, who I worked with on Kings, wonderful actor, wonderful human being, right? People talk about Sebastian being Luke. You know, people want, you know, Anthony Gruber coming back as Han, whatever. I mean, they're going to have to recast someone, at least be the physical form of Leia. I personally vote for her daughter, right? Billy Lord. I think she can do it, right? But
let me read some of this of what you wrote. If that's okay with you.
I'll show
you. With that slip, Sparrow was able to piece together Favreau's top secret plan. Instead of recasting the roles, as many fans expect, and perhaps some prefer, Favreau is already investing in substantial resources in deep fake technology to de-age and recreate the characters of Luke, Leia, and Han as they appeared in the original trilogy, which suggests that he has plans for their steady reappearance in his Star Wars universe over the long run. Now, of course, this does not mean that other actors won't be cast to serve as the underlying body and perhaps voice of these digital recreations. Certainly, a new actress will need to fill in for Leia, or even Carrie Fisher's face is digitally superimposed on her. But this is a major revelation regarding Favreau's plans for the future of our beloved heroes. Cameron?
Yeah, and so that's the thing. I didn't know that. My contact didn't know that. But as of now, that is the current plan. Number one, it reveals that Han and Leia are planned, as I've been hearing for some time, that there is a plan to return them in this, hopefully in this movie that we'll see that Favreau is working on, you know, on The Mandalorian. That would be the best place to introduce them, because if you're having a theatrical movie release, that's the prime place to bring our heroes back, all three of them, right? The audience would just go wild. Imagine seeing that on screen, big screen, our heroes back. The audience is just going to go crazy, right? And that's also good marketing, because what you want to do is, you know, when the movie premieres, you want to have the marketing cameras on the audience for people screaming wildly when they see Han, Luke, and and Leia back on screen. You want to watch their reactions and post that as marketing, right?
You mean these guys?
Yes, these guys are beloved, right? And so that I've heard for sometimes Barrera said, yeah, that seems to be the plan, but they didn't have any details. They didn't know how it was going to be done, when it's going to be done. But now, with at least as of last week, money had been authorized to use massive digital technology, which suggests that, you know, probably Mark Hamill, to the extent that he's able to still continue to be the physical body of it, on which they'll put his face, his younger face. And, you know, again, I don't know how much longer these actors are going to be able to physically do it. Certainly for action sequences, they won't be able to do it. And they're going to have to do something with Carrie Fisher, God bless her. And so in any event, as of now, it does not appear to be recasting. They seem to feel that the technology will keep getting better, so that they'll be perennially, perhaps eternally, able to use our heroes' faces moving forward for the next century. Who knows? I mean, good. It may become one thing I can say in the article. Yeah. It may prove too expensive. The bean counters may be right, and at some point the money may be just not enough, and then they will have to recast. As of now, they're putting the money into to digitally recreate them.
Right, because you did say in the article down a couple paragraphs as far as their financial woes because of the disastrous Acolyte. How much did that cost again, really quickly?
Who knows? I mean, there's all kinds of stories, right? It went from claims of $300 million to $180 million. I don't think it was anything even close to that. I don't think it was.
It was a lot of money, though.
It was a lot of money. It was a lot of money that didn't seem to come from Disney. So a lot of shadowy people that aren't Disney paid for it. So we'll just leave it at that.
So, okay. So let's just play with this idea for a second. In Favreau, we trust, right? I love Favreau. Yeah. I mean, AI, deepfake, all that stuff is getting better and better. It seems year by year.
Yeah,
I'm open to seeing this. I know it's going to cost a lot of money. It's take a lot of time. Maybe if it's just like in little scenes here and there in the Mando movie, but we need our heroes back, and then we do need them recast eventually. There's just
unless they, because they have their voices, they can recreate their voices. They might be able to do this perpetually.
there is that part too. What do you guys think in the chat? Would you want to see this kind of deep fake iteration, or do you want it just to be totally recast?
Some people are saying recast. A lot of people in the chat seem to be saying recast. I've heard that on my Patreon as well. Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, if we do see these digital versions, my expectation is probably the Mando movie, right? That's the place to do it. Then, if people aren't happy with it, then I think recasting is going to have to be something that because Favreau is, if nothing, he's reactive to the audience. He heard that people didn't like Boba Fett. He was shocked. He took that information into account, right? He's taking the information into account, doing his best he can to get back on track when he's fingers on the pulse of the fans, unlike Miss Kennedy.
Anything else with your scoop, man? Anything else? I mean, are you again? You're vindicated with the Acolyte. Are you feeling good about this?
I'm sorry. I was just looking at the chat, so I got distracted for a second. Please go ahead and repeat the question.
It's all right, man. It's all right. Okay, with this
news, chats that were coming with my name on it. Yes, people like
with this happening, and then the Acolyte happening. You're getting vindicated on all this. Yep. How do you feel about this? Are you excited for this future? Excited for what John's going to do with this movie?
I've been excited for a long time. The problem has been that Miss Kennedy she's like the Sarlacc, right? I mean, she just swallows you in and pulls you in for eternity, right? And she just doesn't stop, right? And so she's been like a Sarlacc, from the Sarlacc parents. She's like, she's not. I mean, she's a tentacle. She won't let go, right? And so for the last several years, every time Jon Favreau makes 2 steps forward, she screws it up, pushes it 3 steps back. So Book of Boba Fett, I'm convinced, was not great because it looks like something that was desperately rejiggered at the last minute. The scripts don't quite work. There seems to be episodes from Mando that were thrown in there and it's because I think Gina Carano got fired. So that screwed up that plan, right? So then when that gets screwed up, the train gets screwed up because now he's got to fix Mando season 3. He's lost 2 episodes, 2 or 3 episodes. And now he's like, well, let me put in this thing with Jack Black, on this stupid planet, right? Because I got to fill in this episode that I pushed over into the other show. So what do I do? That doesn't work. So people are like, oh, Mando season 3 is screwed up. So her behavior keeps screwing him up. Every time he tries to advance things, like he's trying to advance his projects, suddenly she shows up with a terrified-looking Daisy Ridley on the stage and saying, we're doing a Rey movie, right? Daisy Ridley's like, really? I mean, this is a malicious person who keeps screwing things up for him, right? Yeah. But she's burning herself out. She burned herself out on the Acolyte. That was where the flame went out, right? It blew her. I mean, she burned herself on 2 things: Indiana Jones and the Acolyte. I mean, she's got nothing left, right? So this idea that she's waiting for a win.
Oh, and Willow.
I mean, she blew her last 3 things that she has done that Favreau's not had a finger in, right? Are gone. I mean, they're all. I mean, one of them doesn't exist, and 2 of them are destroyed. And so, at some point, she's run out of bullets. She's run out of bullets. There's nothing in development unless you believe the fake Rey movie is real, which it is not. And I've said that since Daisy Ridley was brought up on stage last April. I've said it since then because my contact at that time was like, nobody knows anything about a Rey movie. We're like, nobody except the inner circle of Kennedy even knew this was going to be announced. And which also brings the question: a lot of these YouTubers who were like, we scooped that the Rey movie was coming. Well, where'd you get that from? If only Kathleen Kennedy's inner circle knew that. Are you listening to Kathleen Kennedy's people? Is that who's telling you about this? It's a troubling question, right? And then, by the way, that was confirmed in December of last year when, I endured a lot of mockery over this Rey movie because people didn't believe what I had to say. Endured a lot of it. And then in December of last year, Daisy Ridley did an interview where she said she didn't know anything about a Rey movie except that morning she had dinner. Yeah. She had breakfast. It's her interview. She had a breakfast with Kathleen Kennedy, and Kathleen's like, hey, we're doing a Rey movie. You want to come up on stage? She's like, what? This is exactly what Sparrow told me. Like, you didn't know. And I had to endure 6-7 months of people calling me an idiot, a liar, misinformed. When she puts out an interview, says, I didn't know anything about a Rey movie. I haven't read any scripts. So, I mean, there's a really pathological game between Kathleen Kennedy's last, the remnant, like the remnant of the empire, remnant, and people who are monetizing hate clicks. There's this pathological dynamic between them where they're desperate to keep it going. These are the same people that are working together to promote the Acolyte. One saying the Acolyte's the best thing in the world. The other one saying we hate the Acolyte because it gets you all to watch their videos. Now what are they going to do? It's what I asked in my Patreon. What are they going to do now? All those trolls vanished from my Patreon in the last few days. And now what are these guys going to do? because they need the Acolyte to happen for them to keep getting you to watch and be angry about it. They don't want you saying nice things about Skeleton Crew. They definitely don't want you talking nice things about Mando. Now, my belief is, to get back to your original question, long-winded way, is now with her out of bullets, we can move forward with what Favreau's been trying to do for 5 years that he's been screwed up with. We can move forward to a good Mandalorian movie. We can move forward, I believe, to a good Skeleton Crew. I have a friend who worked on Skeleton Crew as an actress, right? I don't want to break her NDA, but she's an actress who's on Skeleton Crew. She gave me inside information about it. She has a toy. She showed me her toy. She has a toy. God bless her.
Nice.
I will tell you, she plays a Jedi. She plays a Jedi, and she has a toy, and she showed me the toy they've made for her that's in development. So good friend of mine. And she had a really good experience on the show. And Jude Law was wonderful to work with. So that's my expectation, is that's going to be a great show. My expectation, the Mando movie is going to be superb, because my hope is, again, I can't control it. My hope is, with all bullets out of her gun, Ms. Kennedy will retire in the near future, whether it's October, November, January. I mean, she can't be there forever. It's just like J. Edgar Hoover. At some point, it's just over, man. At some point, it's just over.
It's over, Johnny. It's over.
At some point,
it's never over. It wasn't over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor. It was the Japanese. I know. Let them roll. Okay, here's what we're gonna do, guys. In the chat, Fletcher, we have where are we at with likes? Where are we at with votes? I want 100s. I want 100s from people. Here's what we're gonna do. I want to say hello very quickly to new people that have been commenting. If you're new, I'm going to say hello to you, and then we're going to hit your super chat with Cameron. And then, we're having a great time here with Kamran Pasha, and he's got his Patreon. I'm going to say hello. I haven't said hello to these people. We got Douglas. We have Nicholas. We have Tech. We have Richard. We have Wazamara. Jonathan G94. Daniel, Project Camion, Albert Rodriguez. He's new. Yeah, I'm trying to say hello to new people. The midichlorian counter, nice. Spider Sense, you've seen him before, and Sun Shadow Systems. Okay, let's clear those if you don't mind, Mr. Fletcher. And over 127 people combined hanging out with us. Combined. I would love for everyone to subscribe, and also to check out Cameron's Patreon. And Cameron, thank you so much.
Come join so that you can hear about these scoops when they happen, not a week later when I'm able to come on to Paulie's channel. So
yeah. I mean, exactly. It's really cool. Okay, we have some super chats. You ready?
Yeah, please.
USS Cushing for $9.99. Given the current Hollywood layoff situation, how can anyone at Disney simply act like it's business as normal when so many brands are not making money? I truly don't understand.
Well, having worked at Disney, I can tell you it is the most studios. All the studios have crazy internal politics, and there's nothing like Disney. When I took the job at Tron, my lawyer told me, be careful there. There's nothing like Disney. You said you've worked at Paramount, you worked at Warner Brothers. That's not this. Disney is the most political place in Hollywood. So people are surviving at Disney, again, more than anywhere else, not because of the quality of anything they're producing, is whether they can throw somebody else under the bus. That's what's going on right now. So, there's a lot of people that are protected by contracts where they're afraid to be, people are afraid to let them go because they fit under whatever, some diversity DEI thing. And so they're there for a while. So you can't get rid of them because they'll sue you. And it's more of a pain to pay them off than to just let their contract play out for another 18 months or whatever. So that's the situation that Disney in. It's like a country, bro. It's literally like the internal politics of the Byzantine Empire. Like we talk about Byzantine, we talk about the actual Byzantium, like the palace intrigue. It's nothing like it, right? And so I've seen it with my own eyes. I couldn't survive it more than 6 months. I got fired because I spoke truth to power, which doesn't work that way there. Don't work that way there. You have to, if I needed to get rid of somebody who was a problem on my show, I needed to stab him in the back and frame him for something, which is what people were doing. Instead, I simply went to the exec and said, this guy's a problem for the show. Oh, are you going to do it that way? You're out. I couldn't survive it. It's not like anything you've ever experienced. So yeah, people will continue. Disney is going to continue to be as pathological, but what it is you have a few leaders like Favreau doing the best that they can in that environment.
Boom. Oh, are you muted?
Yeah, Hollywood is truly a bubble within a bubble. So depending on what Cameron said, what studio, who's running what, and how they're running things, it might never change for some of these studios. Douglas A. Burton for $5. Thank you so much. What do you think about a single film show that deepfake the OT but use flashbacks to intro a new cast, recast characters?
I mean, I think they should just not touch the OT in any way, shape, or form. I think they did a bad animated effort at it, which was all crazy and stupid, right? That made upset people because it was like Leia, Leia don't need Luke to swing her across the thing, right? Because she's a strong and powerful. I mean, just leave it alone. So I understand, Doug, what you're trying to go with there, but I don't think Favreau would touch it. I think he's too much reverence for George. And he has too much humility to know that he's not going to improve on the original movies. He's not. He can only build on them. And as a fan, which is, again, I've always said everything after Lucas sold Lucasfilm is fan fiction. And I believe Jon Favreau is doing his best to do decent to good fan fiction, right? And he's been hindered by a lot of forces, but he's trying. But he doesn't see himself as doing more than fan fiction. He's a fan, right? He's trying to honor the legacy of the creator. I don't think he would have the audacity to try to mess with the original material in any way.
Nice. All right, next. Thank you so much, Douglas. Oh, I guess Fletcher didn't get my note. I'm trying to give my throat a little break.
Let's get some water, yeah.
John, hit it, bro.
So quiet on the Gina Carano lawsuit of late. Where does Iger intend to settle, and does Favreau have enough pressure to make that happen ASAP?
Well, it's an interesting question, especially now with what happened today, because I'm assuming what happened today with the Acolyte was Favreau's pressure. Because I know from my own scoop from last week that Favreau and all these people were arguing about what to do. Favreau never wanted the Acolyte released. There were people who were afraid of the people linked to the Acolyte that got it released. And so when he wanted it pulled, there were people that didn't want to do anything because they're afraid of the people that are linked to the Acolyte in the UK that are, let's just say, shifty people that Hedlund got them in business with, right? The fact that it got pulled and that it got announced that it's canceled suggests to me that Jon Favreau has won an internal battle, right? If that is the case, then I know he wants Gina back. Again, there's people argue Gina doesn't want to come back. I think she wants to come back, but that's her choice, right? It's her choice. Definitely, I think he wants to settle this from his point of view as quickly as possible. So I'm more hopeful today that he can leverage this. On my Patreon, I actually talked about a couple of weeks ago why it hasn't settled yet, because apparently Mr. Iger, due to the current presidential politics, Mr. Iger has lots of ambitions to find a way to the White House somehow. He's been very open about that. Now, I think my contacts inside of Disney are saying Iger's just doesn't care about Disney, about the Carano lawsuit. He doesn't care about anything right now. He's focused on trying to get in close with Kamala and that whole team to get something out of it. He's not going to be vice president, but if he can get an ambassadorship out of this, if he could get like Secretary of Commerce out of it, he wants something that it can push him into government politics, right? And make him a future candidate for the White House. And so they were saying that his attention is completely on trying to advance himself in the chaos of the current Democratic Party's nomination process, right? But eventually that's going to settle out, and I don't think he's going to get anything out of it personally. I don't think he's going to get anything. And then he's going to have to deal with settling this.
Right. And thank you so much, Jonathan, for that super chat. And also we got Surgeon MD. Thank you so much for the $1.99. If Lucas comes back, tons of budget, thoughts?
Hold on, please. Hold on, I'm sorry, my screen just went off for a second. If Lucas comes back, tons of budget thoughts. Well, I've reported several months ago that there is at least an intention to have Lucas back in some capacity, that there was already conversations internally. If you remember, there was Star Wars Theory actually was the first one, and who was interviewing a close friend of Lucas who was very heavily involved in production design of the first movies. And that guy let it slip that he's seen stuff that suggests Lucas might come back, and then he quickly covered his mouth. Oops, I should have said that. Right. Flip. And then I had my sources look into that, and they were able to find evidence that certainly there are conversations that haven't come back in some kind of advisory capacity where that they were discussing a new Jedi Academy series that Filoni would lead, but was taking ideas from him. So there are people in the chat saying, he's too old to run things. I agree. I don't think he should be running anything. But there's people say, well, he's retired. I'm telling you right now, nobody retires. You as an artist, you don't retire. Right? No artist retires. You're an artist, a writer. You're always coming up with stories. Da Vinci was working on the Mona Lisa the day he died. Right? You're still fiddling with it. Right? It's an unfinished work, and no artist retires. I plan to be coming up with story ideas and movies and books and things to the day I die. The idea of he's retired, it's meaningless. He's always going to have ideas for Star Wars. It's his baby, right? If somebody wants to hear those ideas, I'm sure he's happy to give them there, right? So yeah, I had a conversation a couple of months ago to bring him on in some kind of advisory capacity, and I still believe that'll happen.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Surgeon MT. And we got Michael Nemo. Thank you so much. MVP of the night with $5 super chats. And your Pasha, hearing anything about Star Trek, the Chisme Online, which is the gossip, is Skydance will be no chance at all. Oh, wait. Can I even talk about the Trek here? Yes, you can.
You can talk about Trek. I'll be honest, I haven't watched any of this Trek. I was very disappointed. I actually liked the first Abrams Trek movie. I thought it was an interesting way to go. And I thought the cast was great. Then like Star Trek Into Darkness and the rest of them were just bad movies, and I stopped watching. And then I didn't watch any of this TV stuff, right? So I think Trek is not even on life support. I think it's in a very bad place, right? I believe it could be like one of that Jason movie where he gets hit by lightning and he comes out of the grave, right? It could be like that. Lightning might hit. So I don't until we can get this gentleman's hands off of Star Trek. I don't know that he's a little bit like the face hugger from Alien, right? He won't let go, and so until he implants his thing inside of Star Trek, and so the chest burster of bad Star Trek. So until somebody can wrest it, maybe this Paramount merger with Skydance will change the dynamics of it. I don't know. I think it's a sad, unfortunate waste that a good franchise is in such a bad place. But what do you do?
Right. Well, thank you so much, everybody who gave us super chat, and this one is for you guys.
Man. Yeah, and this one also too is for all the Star Wars people.
The low rider is a little higher.
Bum, 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 bum. Yeah. Okay. So those are the scoops. That's everything.
Let's talk maybe about Jenna Ortega and a few other things. Yeah, because I need about half an hour. Yeah.
We're gonna get there, and listen, this was monumental, man. So we wanted to give it its time. Wanted to give you your props, and thank you all for all the great super chats. Mm-hmm. We are going to end the poll. I believe we got over 100 votes. Fantastic. Let's go to our other big news item, which you actually reported on as well. And did I put this on? Sorry, I'm like all whacked out with my. Okay, well, let's just bring it up. Who is this? This is He-Man and Teela. This is Masters of the Universe. Yeah. And there's a live action production going on, Cameron, and you reported what, sir?
It wasn't like I scooped it. It was in the trade, right? But it was, we've had Camila Mendes, and you can probably pronounce it better in Portuguese than I can. But Camila Mendes from Riverdale is coming in as Teela. And it's an interesting choice on Riverdale, which is really the only place I've seen her. I thought she was a very good actress. I mean, she played Veronica Lodge, and I thought she actually did a pretty good job and brought a lot of range, because that character can be a very unlikable character because she's a snotty rich girl, right? But she brought a lot of range and depth to that character that you end up really liking her over the. And it was a crazy show, but I enjoyed wacky, crazy Riverdale, and I thought she was a very good actress. But my question that I raised on my Patreon, which a lot of people have conflicting opinions on, is that does she has the physique to be an action hero? Because at least on Riverdale, she came across, because she was playing a wealthy, debutante type. So she wasn't playing an action star. So will she have the physique? And she can muscle up for it. And some people might be upset that they've cast a Latina for a redhead, whatever. I love redheads, but just objectively, she's a good actress, I thought. And I think this can work. I hope to just buff her up a little bit.
So listen, this was the live action He-Man from the 80s, late 80s.
Some people think that's the greatest film of all time.
Dolph Lundgren. I think it's one of the greatest castings of all time. It's a pretty bad film though. But that's who we had, right? And this is the new gentleman that's playing Prince Adam and He-Man. Nicholas, I forgot his last name. Forgive me, guys.
It's Hazeltine, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he was. I think he was recently. I think he was the guy in the movie with Anne Hathaway where he plays like
Yes.
the dude. She's like banging as the hot milf, right? Whatever. But he's a well liked actor. He's got a fan base. He's a handsome guy. He also does not appear to have the physique that you would think, right? For He-Man.
No. There's definitely gonna. I put this one up because just juxtaposed with Hathaway, who's not a short gal, so he's a tall dude. But
I gotta be honest, I got to think for Anne Hathaway, man. Oh my god, I got to think.
Yeah,
the conversation.
But he's got the frame, but he's definitely gonna need to hit some supplements and the gym stat. Now, this is Camila Mendes, who is Brazilian. She's an American actress of Brazilian descent. Like you said, Riverdale. I got to see her in a really cool musical comedy film called Música, which is on Prime with another gentleman, and she was the lead. She's got what it takes as far as having that it factor. She is absolutely drop dead gorgeous, but she's 5'1". She's tiny.
She's tiny. She's shown as tiny on that show. Yes,
she's tiny.
She's 5'2".
But does she have the frame to do this? To put on some muscle? I say yes. I say yes. I think she has the potential, but again, supplements, hitting the gym. This is recent. This is from the gala, the Met Gala. I think that's we're going to get into Lucy Lawless? No, we're not. But Camila Mendes, I think is as far as on par for acting, absolutely. Looks, absolutely. When you get this ginger side, I don't know what to tell you. That I really don't have a problem with.
To be fair, I love gingers. I have a redhead fetish. I love redheads. But again, this actress is just a good actress, right? So I don't know that they intentionally said, let's get rid of the redhead.
Well, the argument is that they're casting these, they're doing the ginger side, and they've gone completely the opposite, and they usually make the woman or the man African American.
Yeah, but it's also I mean, let's be honest here. They want Latino audiences. We've talked about this so many times. That's the future of Hollywood. That's the future of the audience. That's why.
My argument here is that it really depends on the actor. It really depends on the makeup, the look of the actor. The more you get away from the original iteration, the harder it is to pull off that believability. Actors who are of Latino descent, and depending on their makeup, their look, they can be more of character actors, more chameleons, like your Oscar Isaac, like your Edward James Olmos, like your Anthony Quinn, where they played every ethnicity under the sun, every and so have people like Russell Crowe, people like Ben Affleck, where they've literally have played Latino people that exist in our everyday. Ben Affleck played a real life Latino man in Argo. Yeah. So if Ben Affleck can play a Mendes, that was his last name, who's a real person.
Yep.
Then Mendes can play Tila. That's all I gotta say.
Well, yeah, people don't acknowledge that there has definitely been race swapping in one direction that people seem to be comfortable with.
Well, that's a whole nother argument, right? Now, there's what was one of the first, big kind of like race swap, if you will. I just hate using that word.
I know.
Was Hemdall. If I'm not mistaken, is that how you pronounce it?
Heimdall in Thor.
In Thor,
Heimdall,
who was a Norse god.
Yeah.
Played by Idris Elba.
He did a great job. I mean, he did a great job in that character.
Right. So again, I think it's case by case, project by project, but unfortunately, the woke era, of what Hollywood has done is that they ruined it for anything that has got to that's inspired casting. That's inspired.
Yeah, because everyone's suspicious. Everyone's suspicious. Yeah, it goes to default of other agendas. Where I don't think that was the agenda here. I do think possibly trying to attack a Latino audience was an agenda, but but then they got a really good actress for that. I like her. I'll watch her in this movie.
And this is good right here. Douglas A. Burton, thank you so much for the $5. Everyone forgets swapped characters. When the final product is good, I would say even great.
Yeah.
Because you have so many naysayers, Douglas. You have so many naysayers, especially now. And you know what? They're not exactly wrong for being naysayers, for being skeptical, because they've been burned. The hardworking, paying audience. I'm not hating on that.
Yeah.
I'm not. Someone said something else here. Nobody knew who the guy from Argo was, though. Fans who know Tila want her like she is. Bonzo. Tila is a made-up person.
Yeah.
Argo is a historical American hero who happens to be a U.S. Latino. It's real history. So if I'm going to let that roll, because I do like Ben Affleck, then you got to give me Camila Mendes as freaking Tila. Do you understand where I'm coming from? It's like, yes, you're absolutely right. Actors should be able to play actors. We've had this argument, this discussion, heated, cold, hot, over and over. And I don't mind this, Cameron. But I'm telling you, if a Jeanette Goldstein can play Vasquez in Aliens, you best believe Ziegler can play Snow White, because I don't care. If it's bad, I will call it out, Hollywood. If it's great, I will call it out. But everyone deserves that chance. And scene.
Well, it's like, look, I'm a Muslim guy, right? And on the shows, and one of the interesting things I've noticed here in my casting situations I've dealt with, shows that I've dealt with, like on Sleeper Cell and other shows that I've had. So whenever you have the Arab terrorist, the bad guy, they always find some Arab guy to play him. Whenever he's the good Muslim guy, you always have to have an Israeli guy play him. These are choices, right? these are interesting choices by the studios and the producers, right? But I'm like, why can't like the Arab guy play the good Arab guy? He has to be an Israeli guy to play the good Arab guy. You can't give that role. These are weird choices. The industry's got a lot of issues, man.
Okay, we're gonna go on. Thank you guys so much. We'll read some comments right now. I think there's a super chat, but we did have the poll. Let's read the poll, Fletcher, for me.
All right,
the winners.
So the winners are let's see, I can't bring it up. There you go.
I brought it up.
So the winner was you said the Acolyte 2 is canceled. The winner is no, don't like space witches at 71%.
Yeah.
Runner up, C, Where's My Power of Many at 19%. Coming in at number 3 for Told You, Acolyte at Home, and with only 5%. And then the final was number 3, Maybe Ended on a Cliffhanger. So thank you so much for voting, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone, for voting. Thank you guys for still being here. Over 127 people hanging out with us combined. That's awesome. That's badass. Wazamara. No, dude. Just no on Snow White. You know what? At this point, you're absolutely right. I've had it with her. I'm just talking about inspired casting based on talent, based on merit. I believe Ziegler is actually a very, very talented young performer. But she has ruined. She's not endeared herself, Wazamara. She has not endeared herself, Kamran Pasha.
Mouth, which actually will, whenever you want to, we can transition to talking about somebody who has a mouth and has managed it wisely, which is Jenna Ortega, right?
Yep.
She speaks openly, but not in a way that alienates her fans.
Okay, so I appreciate everyone with these. I don't want to get bogged down with the. Let me hit some of these super chats really quickly. Lord Trinan is here for $2. Could they dye her hair red for the role? Absolutely, absolutely.
And if anybody watches Mexican soap operas, lots of sexy redheads on those.
Well, again, it really depends on how the role is written.
Yep.
And if she could pull it off, if Camila can pull it off, which I believe she can, I just don't want her to be insufferable,
Yeah, and I don't think I've gotten no indication that they're going down that way. I mean, I know it's hard for people to accept but this woke stuff is burned out of Hollywood because you see leftover garbage like the Acolyte from weirdos who are in the fringe, who use weird angles to push them through. It's not a conversation I'm seeing anymore. All I'm seeing is screenwriters tired of this stuff and exhausted, and people are saying, thank God I don't have to write this crap anymore. I mean, it's just not a real thing in this town anymore. I mean, it's hard to believe because it'll take a couple of years for you to see that as stuff is in production, right? But that's where we are now.
Don't forget, guys, to go ahead and check out Kamran on Patreon. I'm a member. I've been a member on his Patreon.
It's worth the $5, guys. It's actually a lot of fun.
It's very much worth it. And everyone, I got to move on with another subject here.
I got about 15, 20 minutes. Yeah.
15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. And
what we have here is a letter.
Mm-hmm.
Kamran, I got a letter.
What, a letter?
Okay. Yeah, man. From someone that wrote to us. Mm-hmm. I thought it was really, really interesting, and I wanted to share it with you guys because it kind of continues this conversation, and I hope you guys don't mind. Let's let me bring it up here. How can I
can see it on the screen. I see it there.
Okay, good. I unfortunately cannot read it. So I'm gonna bring up the give me 1 second there, Fletcher.
Do you want me to read the beginning?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, the rules, this is coming from Super Comic Mutant Squid. Thank you so much for the comment. I mean, the rules of being of color are so fleeing and don't play the game. I just watched the confusion. It's just so sad because 20 years ago, things like this were private matters, and it was hardly brought up into focus by articles. If rarely and if person in question really wanted to discuss it, now you're judged on how pure you are, and people use that as a bias on how they treat you, which is the very definition of racism and all of the other isms, yet they don't seem to get this.
Okay, so what are we talking about? Well, this comes up every so often, and Jenna Ortega did a huge Vanity Fair in-depth story, all that stuff, and in it she talks about being not a real Latino because she doesn't speak Spanish. She grew up here. She has some shame with it, and you juxtapose that with Anya Taylor-Joy, who doesn't look Latina, but is and speaks fluent Spanish because she grew up just like Fletcher, an Argentine. So that's what this reaction of this letter is. And let's go on. I'm going to go. I got it pulled up now. I can read it here. Anya should be proud of her ability to speak other languages and embrace it. She should enjoy it and teach it if she wants to. Spread the goodness, as they say. On that note, Jenna shouldn't be shamed for not being able to speak perfect Spanish, as she has other things that connect her to her family and to her roots, which again, she should embrace and enjoy. We have two wonderful women who should just be left alone concerning these factors. But more than likely, both will be judged on how Latino X they are, usually by people who aren't effing Latino and those who have insecurities themselves, but feel lashing out is the only way to evade it. And interesting enough, Kamran, this is a photo of Jenna in a huge Beetlejuice press tour in Mexico City. And I was following her Instagram. I know you're on Instagram as well. She did. You could see her soaking up the culture, going to the Frida Kahlo house, Diego Rivera, learning some Spanish, endearing herself to the Mexican fans. It was really cool to see. And that's what I'm talking. Jenna Ortega knows how to celebrity. Melissa Barrera knows how to celebrity. Anya Taylor-Joy, she had a flop with Furiosa. She knows how to celebrity. Right? We say, I didn't like your movie, but I love you. What do you got next? Come on, let's go. So I just wanted to bring that up as I go along. This is just such a well-written letter, and I really appreciate this. I really hate. Oh, let me go to the next page because here we go. Thank you so much. I really hate the whole identity obsession because at least here in the U.S., they only count identity if it's baked on the coast, and most of the time they're trying too damn hard or so bland and homogenized, there really is no culture to embrace because, as mentioned before, there's still some insecurity and they really don't know how to define themselves. I'm a black woman from the Midwest, and the culture here is completely ignored. The whole coastal idea is being propped up as the only black culture that seems to exist, ignoring the reality, expansive and wide array of people that can be found throughout the country. I have my own gripes on how black culture is shown and marketed, and it's usually so processed. It's
Correct.
just the same faux African stuff with no real connection to
What
Africa.
what it is again, white people in Hollywood pretending to care about black people and then creating very stereotypical versions of them based on their ideas. Same thing to do with Latinos.
Absolutely, absolutely. Let me see the last page here.
Mhm.
All right, last page.
Mhm.
And just using the Pan-African color and putting the continent graphics up just doesn't even cut the surface of what could be shown. A lot of this nonsense just boils down to the idea of culture from one specific view that doesn't allow for personal expression, experience, and other important things. It's just in some order. To be Latina, you must, one, be dark enough for everyone, otherwise you're categorized into an even smaller box. Two, speak Spanish. Three, talk about dishes that are familiar to most Americans. The fact that people haven't woken up to how dehumanizing this says a lot. Cameron, this is a wonderful letter from our friend here, uh, and I want to give a big shout out to Super Cosmic Mutant Squid. I love it. What are your thoughts, man? Because you're from New York, man. That's where you grew up.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sympathetic to everything they're saying. I think they're correct. I mean, I think Latinos are best able to talk about when this trend started, but when the trend I started noticing personally as someone who is, let's say, Latino friendly, I'm a Latino ally, if you want to use those terms, but I'm not. I mean, Pakistani, right? But I know, and you and I talked about it. Is when I saw In the Heights, right? And then you had that idiotic interview where you had that woman who complained and put the director and the actor on the spot, saying that you didn't cast people that were dark enough to play Latino, which is not correct because two of the four stars look pretty dark to me, right? And it was just an idiotic thing to put them in a position for, and the director immediately, Asian dude, just mea culpa, right? Whereas Melissa Barrera, who has been falsely labeled as a wokester by morons, was the only one saying that this was the right cast and he made the right choice, right? And so this is when I noticed it becoming a phenomenon. It didn't surprise me because I realized where the skin coloration conversation had gotten to in our society, right? So that it's about shade racism. And so you're not dark enough to be Latino, you're not dark enough to be black. And then I remind people, Denzel Washington played Malcolm X in his greatest role they should have got the Oscar for, but he is several shades darker than Malcolm X. Malcolm X was a light-skinned black man with red hair, right? And so is that shade racism that a dark-skinned black man played Malcolm X when he was quote unquote fair-skinned and red hair? Nobody noticed that again. And so there's a lot of this nonsense, and I think this letter writer correctly says that there's a lot of low self-esteem that comes with someone who thinks, well, my shade, I'm Latino, but my shade isn't properly represented, so they only think lighter-skinned Latinos are attractive. And I was like, did you watch In the Heights? There's some really good-looking, dark-skinned Latina women there in this movie, right? I was like, wow, this is a great movie. And so it's just weird projection of their own insecurities. And we have it. Look, Pakistanis, Pakistanis have a full range as well. There are Pakistanis, yes, there really are, that are blonde-haired, blue-eyed. In the north of Pakistan and the Himalayas, there are the descendants of Alexander the Great's army, because Alexander the Great went through that part of what is now Pakistan to go into India. And so that they are the Kailash, who are the actual Macedonian tribes that settled there, that are still practice ancient Macedonian culture and religion, that are Pakistani. And you go there, if you go to the Northwest Frontier province, they're blonde-haired, blue-eyed, right? Pakistanis. And there's Pakistanis that look as dark as African, and I'm somewhere in between, right? And there's shade racism in the Pakistani culture, right? We have people that believe fair-skinned Pakistanis are more attractive and more desirable for mating and marriage than darker-skinned ones. These are real social issues within communities where there's broad ranges of shades, right? But if I had a light-skinned Pakistani who became a movie star, I'd cheer them on. I mean, it's just a lot of silliness that you need to overcome your own issues, because all of us can find something about ourselves that somebody else is not going to find attractive by their judgment, right? And we can either own that, or we can simply say, well, that's what you think. I like myself, and I don't need to put myself down or anyone else down on these standards, which is, I think, the healthy response.
Absolutely. Cool. And the audience, Fletcher, has got something to say.
Yeah. So we got the Equalizer. What's up, people? I concur with dislike and identity obsession. We have Christopher Peak saying her not knowing how to speak Spanish is her parents' and grandparents' fault. It's no fault of her own, and we agree.
I worked on Sleeper Cell. I worked with a wonderful Latino actor who didn't speak a word of Spanish. Grew up here in LA, right? He was playing like a Mexican gang member, right? And but he didn't speak one word of Spanish. Never learned it because he grew up upper middle class Latino in Los Angeles. So he never felt the need to learn it.
Yeah. No, truly. Surgeon MD, honestly, Mexican people don't care how Latin someone comes off, so long as they're a good people. Yeah, we do see that a lot.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely, Surgeon. Absolutely.
Yeah. And we got Scarab Scuttlebutt Podcast.
What's up, man?
I'm always puzzled at why we seek other people's acknowledgement to feel secure. We got to stop that bleep.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, look, this is in my religion, there's a verse in the Quran that says, it tells human beings to say, we take our color from God. Like God made me this, right? So that's the artist. If I look like this, it's because the artist made me that way. That's beauty.
That's right. And we got Douglas say, wow, great thoughts on the current situation. Thank you so much, everybody, for commenting on this hot topic.
Yeah. I was congratulating the audience on how amazing they are. That's been a wonderful night, been a wonderful chat. So thank you all so much. Just breaking records here for our live streams. As usual, whenever Kamran is here, hundreds and the hundreds.
So I actually need to start winding down if there are any super chats I should address, but I also wanted to throw one thing that you and I have been talking about that we should keep an eye out on, because I'm getting those rumors too.
Let me want to bring it up? We know who Melissa is, or should I find a photo?
Melissa Barrera from Scream. We've just mentioning her, who is, and she's a wonderful actress. I love her in general. I loved her in Scream. And I share her politics on the Middle East. If that offends anybody, so be it. I share her political position on the Middle East. And because of those political positions, she was fired from the Scream franchise and falsely called anti-Semitic. And we are both, Paulie, he texted me a few days ago, have you heard this? And at the time I had not heard this, but I'm now beginning to hear it. That the rumor that is beginning to spread to the point that both of us are hearing it is that Melissa Barrera has reached allegedly some kind of a settlement with the studio that fired her, and that she supposedly will return in the Scream movie, and that and I heard exactly the same rumor that you heard, which is that she is donating. She's actually asked that the money, her salary, be given to a charity of her choice, which probably has something to do with Palestine or Gaza or something, just to say, I don't want this money, but if you're going to pay that charity this money, right? And so, that certainly, she doesn't need the money. She's wealthy herself independently, but it's also her character that she's like, I'm coming back, but no, I don't want anyone to say that I came back for the money. I don't want the money. I want you to give it to whatever charity she chose. I'm now hearing exactly the rumor that Paulie heard a few days ago. It's beginning to spread in Hollywood. I don't know that it's true, but we should keep an eye on it, because we may get breaking news in the near future that she has actually done that.
And again, the rumor is Melissa Barrera, Scream, was it 5 and 6, maybe coming back. Work, like you said, we're starting to hear it here and there. Potentially giving away her
salary to a charity.
Yep. This is what I do know. Melissa Barrera walks the walk. Enough said.
Yep.
She defends her castmates. She defends her directors, her writers, her creators, from In the Heights to Neve Campbell. She's only one in that cast 2 years ago that defended Neve Campbell. So when she came out almost a year ago for a ceasefire and to stop the killings, period, in particular of children, she was literally the only one. And at that time, she got fired for that. And she got libeled. and you know, it was a big stink. Speed it up now. She stuck to her
Guns, and I think culture has changed in the nearly year that we've been dealing with this situation.
Mhm.
And I think Hollywood is beginning to recognize that maybe the audience, there's elements of the audience that are more sympathetic to her point of view than they had imagined, and that it's just good business to put this behind, because it is not as black and white an audience opinion as they assumed it was when they made the selection. And I also think there was a timing, because you heard this rumor the same day that Jenna came out with this interview that Gina Carano commented on, that where she basically she basically said, she speaks from the heart and people should grow a bit of a thick skin, that she has politics. What she's not saying directly, but is Jenna Ortega, before all of this flap, before even there was a war in October 7th last year, before that, Jenna Ortega was very passionately pro-Palestinian in her tweets and her social media. She's talking about this a year ago, 2 years ago, right? And they were too scared to do anything to her. I said she was going to walk away if Melissa left, and she did walk away. But they're still scared of her because she has such a huge following. But what's interesting, she came out and said people should grow a thicker skin, and let people have their beliefs. They shouldn't be blacklisted. And amazing, Gina Carano. And I don't know Gina's opinions on the Middle East. I've never asked her. I don't know her well enough to know that. But she's generally a good person in general. And Gina went out and honored her on Twitter and said, "This is a smart young woman who's speaking from her heart." I don't know whether Gina shares her politics, and the fact is that I don't know is the pivotal thing, that Gina is such a good person. So whatever her politics are on the situation, she's happy that Jenna is proudly talking about it and telling people not to cancel others. And then right after that came out, and then Gina put her thing out, we both of us start hearing this Melissa Barrera thing. So I think maybe that article was part of the timing of the situation.
I think celebrity is such a hard thing to maneuver for anyone, much less young actors who are trying to make their way with their careers. You can see Jenna is a very particular with her projects, and I love where her career is going. Other actors haven't handled grace and politics. Celebrity and politics as gracefully as Ortega, but can take a page from her book, from Barrera's book. Ziegler, I'm talking to you, because what I do know, Kamran, why, and this is why people love you, love your Patreon. People love authentic people. That's it. That is like Robert Meyer Burnett says, that is the authenticity is the currency of everything right now. So I mean, I listen. I respect people's stances and opinions, whether I agree with them or not, and I respect them even more when they're done with dignity and respect, with grace. Man, it would be really interesting to see where what we do know with Melissa. She's got another movie coming out in Halloween, man. So there you go.
And look, and again, I enjoyed her vampire movie. It didn't do as well as I think it should have. I thought it was
Abigail.
I thought it was a good movie. I enjoyed it very much. Whatever. So I need to start winding down. Is there any last thing I need to address? The show's going to continue without me.
I think you're good. We're gonna do one. Me and Fletcher are gonna do one topic, and then we're done. Okay. But again, the great Kamran Pasha. Oh, we're gonna talk about Lizzo. I don't know if you.
Yeah, I'm not interested in that. I God bless you. I'm glad I'm leaving for that. You guys stick around. Anything, whenever Lizzo comes up, I'm out of the room. I'm out. It's out. It's not for me.
Let's give you the floor, sir.
Well, the only floor is, number one, thank you for bringing me onto this wonderful channel. This is a really good community. This is the kind of community that's going to last. There's been a lot of flash in the pan YouTube channels that come and go that are based on no integrity. This is a channel based on profound integrity and a real community. And that's why I expect it's becoming a brand. It's becoming a brand. One day in the near future, I expect Paulie is going to be making movies and producing them under the Latino Slant brand. And I'm hoping to help him with that. So everyone stick around here, hit the like, subscribe if you haven't, join him, send him money. This guy's really doing something to build up a community for the future. And please come join me on my Patreon. You see the link right there. It's a fun community. There is interesting stuff there. I try to post multiple times a day, so the $5 will be worth it. And I try to give my every now and then I get scoops, but I also try to give my perspective on things and what I'm hearing from the industry, because I really do work in it and not just talking about it. So hopefully people will find it of value. And we've got a few hundred people that have stuck around for a couple of years now, and they seem to be a solid community. I would love to keep expanding that.
I love it, man. I love it when you're on. I love when you're on, brother. And then I'm gonna see you soon. I'm gonna text
Yeah.
you. We got a couple things going on in person, and inshallah, God bless the rest of your night.
God bless everyone. Stick around for the Lizzo conversation.
The Latino
God bless.
Lizzo.
Out. All right, peace.
Yeah, there he goes. There he goes. There he goes, man. So what a great stream we're having. We got one more topic to do, Mr. Fletcher. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it going.
What are you seeing in the chat, man? What's people's feelings in the chat?
Well, about which one?
Just like the energy.
I think people are liking the stream.
There you go.
They're really kind of worried about where we're coming up next. So it's a bit of a worry on that one.
Yeah. I know you sent me something, but the chat is happy. There you go. The is it I or is the L JP Mexican?
I think it's an I. Yeah.
It's an I. The IJP.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? What is the IJP? Is that like your initials?
Well, it's on the Don't Insult Tortas like that.
Dang. What's up, Ron? What's going on, brother? So we gave away swag. Okay, listen. Let's do a pitch for the members really quick, because when we have a two. Oh.
Yep. You're muted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but now you're coming on a weird speaker.
All right, hold on. Right. Whenever I move this thing, it's so.
Don't move.
Yeah. Okay, is that better now?
Yes.
Ay Dios. All right. So, we got a new $2.99 membership level. Okay, that gets you the shout outs. Everything above that gets you discounts, gets you panels, gets you movie nights. But what we do that very few other channels do is that we actually give away movie swag. Oh, let me go to my other camera. Ooh, you like that? And yes, the stash is real, baby. Well, I even put you know what, I put on some clay on the ends tonight, bro.
Nice.
Yeah.
So somebody's saying that Wolverine's saying that it's your stripper camera angle. So we got to rename it.
Wow. You know what? If the stripper camera is equating to money, then Romy would not have a problem with it.
There you
go.
I'll
tell you right now. So with memberships on that high level, we throw away swag to you guys. So Jen won this one tonight. I have then randomly my top members, I will once or twice a month send you guys gifts in regards to film swag, posters, exclusive posters, all that stuff. We got these exclusive Zorro caps from Sequoia Studios, the TV show Zorro on Amazon. This is a really beautiful cap. I want to give this away right now. Let's give this away to one of our wonderful members, Jaime G, Voltaic Blood. You win this one right now. I will send it to you, my dude. Does this mean the shirt is coming off?
How much are you putting down? That's what we want to know.
Yeah. Jaime, you're a member. This is yours, buddy. I will send this to you. But anything regarding stripping is,
$50 and up.
We're starting at least at $50, man.
Yeah, there you go.
The shorts won't help. Nice World War Z cap. It's a Zorro.
It's World War Zorro cap.
Yeah, you got it, man. It is a nice cap. It's a really pretty cap.
Become a member, and if you can become a member at the highest level, you get free swag.
Yeah, it's stretchy. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm gonna keep here. Let's make this one big. Sometimes I'm gonna keep swag for myself. Okay, the Wolverine. I did get it on free. I did get it at the Wolverine screening. I know Ray J's there. He ended up liking it. He saw it for the second time. Ray J, I'm glad you saw it for the second time. I'm not giving that up. I love that darn thing. Also, too, you can't really see it, but there's my Godzilla -1 poster I got from IMAX. It's not going anywhere. It's mine. But I will be doing that. Memberships has its perks, all that good stuff. Okay. What do we got?
We got Lizzo.
What? Lizzo, guys. What is going on with Lizzo, Fletch?
So basically, she decided that she was going to get in shape. And this is coming out of, she spent a few years shaming people who were fat shaming her.
Wait a minute. She did what?
So basically, she spent years on all kinds of social media, basically shaming the people who were fat shaming her, saying, she's beautiful as she is, and all the people who fat shame are horrible. She even had a show where she wanted to get dancers that were, heavy set also, and to basically glorify being obese. And she was like, "There's nothing wrong with being obese." She
said there's nothing wrong, not you.
Right? No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I get called fat all the time. You kidding? I'm from Latin America. We're worse than the Japanese. You fat. Actually, my sister just called me today and it's like, "Did you lose any weight?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I lost some weight," but it's like, I'm not gonna tell you. So yeah, fat shaming is like a cultural sport in Latin America. We beat the Japanese and the Koreans. But wow. Lizzo was out there basically saying that, hey,
it's amazing you just said that, by the way.
Well, this all the time. Amazing. It happens. But she was out there basically shaming people who were trying to shame her supposedly. And there were some haters, but there was also some people that really were concerned for her health. And now I guess she did a 360 on this, and now she's like, I'm getting into shape.
Well, she's working out now.
She's working out,
and she put up a video. And I just want to here's a little reminder of I guess where she was at. Right. And here's the video that was put up. I'm not going to play the music.
Mother truckers.
Right. She's doing a pull down on one knee.
And she got pretty decent technique if she would put her shoulders a little bit more back. I mean, it's good. It's resistance training, man. It's like she's even doing the little, playing with the isometric stuff and something. Yeah.
Right.
You can't learn that. I guess part of it is
because my cravings to be thinner with Liz.
But I think what happened is she was on South Park, right?
Well, she got made fun of.
And I think that kind of motivated her to start losing weight again, because this isn't the first time. I checked some Lizzo workout history. The last couple of years, she started, then stopped, started, then stopped, and then that's unfortunately familiar with a lot of people who are obese, is that they don't get the right type of mental game behind their workouts. And as a guy that trains people right here, young and old, it's all about the mental game. So we got a video here of someone putting the South Park voiceover to her working out. Do you guys want to? Let's go ahead and play that. What do you say there, Fletcher?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it.
Hold on my cravings to be thinner with Lizzo.
It's Lizzo. FDA-approved Lizzo makes you feel good about your weight, and it costs 90% less than Ozempic.
I've lowered my standards and my expectations.
It's Lizzo. In case studies, 70% of patients on Lizzo no longer cared how much they weighed.
I I don't give two shits.
Lizzo helps you eat everything you want and keep physical activity to a minimum.
Ask about the power of not giving a fuck with Lizzo.
They just
That's
cursed in
rough.
there. Sorry, everyone, anyone that is in regards to cursing. Okay, what do you think of this, Fletcher? This video, you know.
That's well done. I mean, she got pretty roasted, and yeah, she should. I mean, it's funny because she came out of this after she, you know, she's in a few lawsuits because she was abusing the cast of her, like, you know, full-figured ladies. They got her like
Right, and
her
isn't there
stuff.
like
Yeah.
a lawsuit going on?
Yes,
Or some legal?
yeah.
It's still open, right? It's still going
Oh,
on.
of course, yeah. So now it's almost like a Lizzo rebranding, you know?
Right. Well, I gotta tell you, man, I think that South Park was a big motivator because remember she was watching it and she did a reaction.
Yeah.
And she was in real shock. So I gotta imagine there's motivation here because let's play without sound. Listen, I jump rope. I jump rope almost every day. Jumping rope is like up there with swimming and cycling. It's so great for your heart, bone density, coordination, everything. She's doing pretty good on that rope. That is not easy.
Yeah, she's doing real good work on that.
So I got to tell you, if anyone just jumps rope 5-10 minutes a day, you're gonna slim down. So what she's doing here is no joke. Okay, let's go on. Okay, seen those a lot. Kind of like, what do they call it? Like a transverse movement. Have a good time. She's in a squatted position. Her hips are pretty high still, but her feet are flat, and she's alternating. What do you call those kettlebells? And her gaze is up. So that's not bad. She's got to keep looking forward. She's just going way too fast, but maybe her trainers, you know, there's something going on here. But I usually don't tell people to pull all the way up. Kind of always keep a constant.
Got to clip that.
Shut up. Yeah, I mean, okay, so how do I feel about this? Man, I gotta tell you, I can't be a total hater on this. I would be a hypocrite, right? Because I'm a black belt. I'm a teacher. Men have come to me literally obese on medicines, on heart medicines, diabetic medicines, and it is a lifetime of getting to a place that they don't want to be. And that's where Lizzo's at. And if she's fully realizing it, all hats off to her. I myself would have liked for her not to put any stuff of her working out. I would wait at least 6 months. I think there's something a little performative here. Still, this is Lizzo, right? I would have waited 6 months. You know, I think she's off to a good start, but you know, you got to go like 6 months in, and you're killing the game, and you're seeing a lot of gains. She needs to create radical, healthy habits with the fork and the gym, and it can't just be like, you know, a month or two. It's got to be like 6 months, then come back to me. Here's the thing with a lot of clients who have failed with me. They've paid the money, they've done a couple of classes, and then they ghost me because it is hard work. And you know what? You guys know some of these people. They're really big YouTubers.
Ton.
Yeah. So if those YouTubers, and I know who you are because you paid me money to train you and then you failed, right? If you're gonna do videos on Lizzo and the fat shaming, and if you're gonna be on your high horse, brothers, I will call you shit out. Because I'm 53, I'm gonna be 54. I train every day. You know, at least she's doing something. Now, that being said, if she was body shaming people in the past, or hey, obesity is I'm not down with any of that. If you're obese, it is not good for you. It is not good for your family. It's not good for your direct community. It's not good too, as far as you being a liability to our society, because like an alcoholic, like a drug addict, sooner or later you become a liability to your community on different levels. Here's one more thing, and I'm going to end on this, Fletch, because we have a big birthday coming up, a big anniversary coming up.
That's
for me
right.
in 2 days. You want to be a positive influence in your community. You have lived a life, Lizzo. You have lived a life, said food addict, drug addict, alcoholic, to where you were a menace to society. You were you took without thoughts of giving to society, because deep down it was your narcissistic behavior that propelled all your action. Now you have to do the opposite, the hard work. This is where I said, I would have preferred if Lizzo just went away for a year and nothing. Went away for a year. Then you come back, hey man, I've been doing. You come back with, you're humble, you're full of some humility, and then say, hey, I was wrong. I was completely wrong, and I'm clearing the wreckage of my past. That is direct AA talk. Clear the wreckage of your past. Takes a long time. It doesn't take overnight. Okay. This is Lizzo. I'm fixing things from my past. I was wrong. I'm going to deal with the legal. It's done. But here is what I have learned. This is a little performative, and it's too soon. It's too soon. Right? It's too soon.
Mm-hmm.
But my hat's off right now to her. I'll give her that. What are your thoughts, Fletcher?
No, I agree. I think if she hadn't gone on the fat, I don't know what it's even called, fat acceptance, fat supremacy, that she had going.
Right.
Then it would be a little bit different, because this would be coming out of, we feel more genuine. But the fact that she was, out there,
yeah,
going after people and basically telling, women, children, whoever listens to her, I don't know whoever listens to her, it's okay, let yourself go. It's not only good to be morbidly obese, but also should be promoted. Yeah, that's the crazy part.
Listen, I'm just speaking from experience, and it's not easy. Nothing worth improvement is never easy, but that's our human condition. And whatever that ism is that you have, it always goes back to your narcissistic behavior and what is empty from that you had to fill it up with, right? Because they say this is just this is not the root of it. It goes back to you got to go back to see what was the root. It's a lot of hard emotional work. That's what I'm saying, man. That's why you see people get thin real fast, a couple months, and then it's like, yeah, okay, and then they stop, because emotionally, mentally, they're still fat, they're still drunks, they're still drug addicts, whatever it is, And what happens? They relapse.
Mhm.
There's such a huge relapse percentage with alcoholics when they try to go sober. Um, that it's really a miracle when someone stays sober for a long period of time. Speaking from my personal experience, we talked about this, and I might do a special Wednesday stream, and I might have a guest, but it is the 9th anniversary. It's going to be my 9th birthday of being sober, and it's very special. August 21st, 2015. I started turning my life around. So I say this to you guys with this Lizzo thing, like with anything, it's like, okay, I see it, I commend it, but that's just the first step.
Right.
And listen, I'm going to root for you. And let's make it a little personal. Someone said something about Mexican Iron Man. Mexican Iron Man is actually one of my success stories. Working with him, he lost over 80 pounds. When we started working, he could barely breathe. He was on meds. He was in bad shape, guys, and he was heavy. And now here was the goal, guys. Here was the goal, that he could be an able, healthy father for his son, Max, who is growing up, and he can go and do everything with Max. Trips, adventures, movies, museums, all that stuff, and not keel over. And you know what? He's living that right now. It is incredible. It is incredible what he's doing, because he took everything I taught him, and we worked for like a couple of years, and he started implementing into a new he got a new healthy lifestyle. He swims, he rides the bikes, he eats well. So yeah, that he's a success story, and odds are he's never going to go back to where he was. So yeah, man. All right, what do we got in the chats? And we still got a lot. Ooh, Juice $4.99. If Lizzo doesn't weigh 2 tons, I don't know. I don't want them buns. Oh my God. After all that I said, right? You throw this at me. If Lizzo doesn't weigh 2 tons, then I don't want them buns. You can do side bends and sit-ups, but please don't lose that butt. Baby got back. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We got to change. We got to change this.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I like big butts and I cannot lie.
All right, guys. It's getting late in LA, too.
Good night, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. Gracias, Juice. Let's play something fun for you. Da, 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 dee, 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 dee. Thank you, Juice.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you.
much.
Memberships has their perks, man. I'm telling you. All right, we got some. So someone locked Lizzo's cookie jar. Oh my God, people are mean. Bonso. Lizzo finally got honest about being way too big. I commend her change. Maybe she'll be less obnoxious too.
She didn't promise that.
Yeah. What did I say, Bonso? Right? Got to come from a place of humility. Doesn't matter what, it really doesn't matter how talented or how successful you are. Brandon, the anime guy, they roasted her to pieces. Dan Crane is a member of the channel. Hail, Paulie and Fletcher the Fabulous. Thumbs up. Ding. What's up, Dan? How are you, man? The IJP Mexican, honestly, this is a W for her. Let's hope she gets better. 100%. That's why I brought this up. And if you know me, guys, in regards to just like training people and all that stuff, that would be totally cruel and a hypocrite if I was to condemn her. We're commending her. I don't like what she said in the past, but it's separate. I want you want people to get healthy. Equalizer, wish South Park had motivated Kathleen Kennedy. Oh, that is nice. Is everyone subscribed to our YouTube channel? It's finger cam. You got the keyboard. Subscribe. Beep, subscribe. Beep, subscribe. Beep. Thank you. Diet is crucial. Juice. Every day. Sanda Hamaslag. Sanda. Now you sound like Jordan Peterson, Paulie. Cleaning up the past or room. What's the difference? It's all the same. Absolutely the same. Clearing up the wreckage of your past, right? So you don't want to live it. You don't want to live in the past, but you don't close the door to it, right? That's what we say. So a great way of seeing how someone is doing in their daily life is, do they keep their house clean? Do they keep their office clean, their room clean? Or are they slobs? It's not a good sign. Julissa! That is wonderful, Paulie. Yes, 9 years. For fat supremacy. Ah! Yay, go Paulie. Yay, Daniel. Wow. Okay, man. I think we're done.
Lizzo.
This has been epic. How many likes did we get? Let's see here. I think we got like over 100. We're over 100, man. Yeah, 117 likes. Show!
Nice.
Nice. Okay, anything else we need to let's get rid of this banner. This week preview. Talk to me, Fletcher.
Yeah, this week we are gonna have a Midnight Sage in Espanol. We're probably gonna have a member stream on the second hour. So we welcome all members to come and hang out with us. You're gonna be able to join us on the stream and chat. We're gonna be covering a whole lot of stuff. There's a new Lara Croft coming out. People are talking already about some Pacific Rim and a whole lot of stuff that's coming down the pike. And we even got like people attacking Latino representation in manga in Japan.
What?
All that and more.
We got a meme on Twitter. So let's bring that up. This is how really fast, and we'll get back to this. Where is that banner? This is from, who's it from? Mike Burcheni. Mike Burcheni. She fits Tila. Great show. Thank you, Mike. So that's the old Tila from '86 movie. And that's Camila's face right there. Okay. It can happen.
All right.
Okay, this Friday is our political show. We did a political video today. And people are watching it.
Nice.
Yeah, doing pretty good. I just basically on that one, I read what's going on in regards to the Democrats freaking out that Latinos are actually not all voting Democrat. And I read the data. I shared the data in the video, and then I read people's responses. Did you check that video out?
Yeah, I did. That was fun.
So we try to go every Friday. We will be here every Friday during the day, 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. We hopefully have a guest and we talk politics. We will be doing that until election day, and we'll probably have a lot to talk about because it's the DNC this week. Good Lord!
Oh yeah, they're on a
Yeah.
great start already.
I heard. I heard. Okay. Anything else, my friend?
No, don't forget to go to the latinoslant.com
Oh
and subscribe because we have fresh articles almost every day coming out, and you're going to get them first, and also stuff that Paulie wants to cover a little bit more. Things that have to do with, like, sometimes numbers and things that he doesn't have time to fit it on the show. You can
Mhm.
put it at the latinoslant.com. It is free to join.
Yeah.
We don't sell your information. We don't give it to anybody. You just basically get awesome hot news delivered right to your inbox. Boom, as soon as it happens.
Yeah, and here's the website. That's what Fletcher's talking about. Okay, so we're full-fledged website with movie critics from Mexico and from here. It's all in English. Our articles, and we just dive deeper into works that are being done that I think you'd be interested, whether they're from Latin America or from here, that you would get no other spotlight on. And we do slant news every day. Here's one where today we're get some wisdom from Danny Trejo. We have a little bit of fun there. And we have four big mains. We have cultura, movie, TV reviews, music, and news. So with the movies, we cover the big movies as well. Trap, Alien Romulus, as well as, like I said, stuff from this one is from it's a Mexican production, but you can see this TV show on Apple TV, Las Azules. So again, you'd never hear about some of this stuff, and that's what really, like Fletcher says, if we don't get a chance to cover it as a video, we're writing about it on our website. Alfredo Galindo did a great feature on La Máquina, this new movie, this new series with Diego Luna and Isa Gonzalez. Again, it's all in English. All our articles are in English, covering guys stuff you just would not normally hear of. And I got to tell you guys, I was kind of getting a little, I would say, not despondent, right? But not particularly uplifted from a lot of what my friends cover. And sometimes I cover as well. This is a big reason why this website exists, is like, you know what? We need to spotlight. We need to recognize and yes, critique as well. It's not like, hey, we're liking everything here. No, like Trap, the movie review, an unfortunate disappointment. But we're also happy to do spotlights on up and coming actors. This is on Isabella Merced. So again, add a little depth to what we're doing here in the Latino Slant. It costs nothing for you guys to join that newsletter. That newsletter is growing. And Fletcher, it's exciting to have Rosa Para, Alfredo Galindo a part of this, yourself, Lily on Midnights at Español. It's a familia. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, fun stuff. And like Paulie says, it's free to sign up. It really helps out the channel because it gives us an outlet to reach out to you in a different way. And an exciting way, because it's sometimes YouTube doesn't let you do everything, and this is a great way to showcase things that are maybe you would you wouldn't know otherwise unless you check it out.
Well, look what Project Cambrian says. Lost track of number of interesting shows or films I haven't seen, just tripped over them even years after, thanks to the streaming wars destroyed distribution models. Come stay with us. We won't steer you wrong. And we recommend different stuff. that you just normally won't get recommended. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sander. Thank you, all you wonderful people. You guys have been amazing. Staying with us. Been an incredible night. Thank you, Kamran Pasha. Anything else, Fletcher, before we do a hard out?
Join us next time, and please make sure that you are subscribed and you hit that like button. And if you could please leave a comment if you're catching this on the replay, it would really help us out.
Have a good night, everybody. Much love to all the members. Much love to all the Slantinos. If you're new, if this is your first time on the stream with us, I thank you so much. Wherever you're at, keep that slant fuerte. Adios.